Shalom. First of all, I'd like to give all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to teachers, sellers, and apostles of great millstone. Likewise, brothers are there, put the truth, faithfully feeding the sheep. And to you, brothers and sisters that are tuning in, Shalom. Today's lesson titled, The Cunning Deceiver. Believe him not, Jake. Okay? And see, Jake, in particular Eve, okay, is consistently falling, okay, for deception of Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. Now, I'm going to play this video here. This is the governor of California, Newsom.
Go around this room and I'm reminded of that old African proverb says, you want to move fast, move alone. But if you want to go far, you got to go together. 557,000 people at 30,000 locations. This is a big deal. $20 an hour. 80% of the workforce. 80% of the workforce in these fast food places. 80% are people of color. Two-thirds are women. The majority are breadwinners. And we have the opportunity to reward that contribution, reward that sacrifice, and stabilize an industry in turn. What a remarkable moment. And so, Nisha, your kids are proud of you. You got me all tearing up over there. I'm glad no one was looking. And I'll just close on that because I think, these are special moments.
And the new $20 minimum wage is just a starting point. The law also creates a fast food council that has the power to increase that wage each year through 2029 by nearly 4%. The new law takes effect in April of next year.
Okay, who has made a whole lot of promises, about, the gas rebate, okay, because gas prices were high last year that he did not deliver on, okay, along with the man that's totaling out, reparation that has not been delivered on. And now he's coming out with his new bullshit scam, okay, to the poor, okay, which is a so-called Black and Americans and Latino, which is this increase in wage for fast food restaurant. But we're going to also take a look at this. We're going to bring up the scriptures, of course, but we'll also take a look at how this, in fact, is going to be a detriment, okay, to the little that Jake has right now. The little bit of resources that Jake is able to draw upon is going to be now destroyed because of what this man is doing. Let's start off with the book of Psalms 55 and start verse 21. It says, the word of his mouth was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn sword. Now, many are going to ask, like, okay, well, what does that mean? Okay, so in this case here, he's talking about increase in wages. Okay, but what he don't tell you is there is a cause and effect when you go into increasing the wage for an industry that is typically low wage, okay? Because why? The price of the product that they're selling is low, okay? It requires a substantial volume of customer per hour in order for it to even be sustainable, okay, in operation. Okay, so he's not telling Jake them that. All Jake them are looking at is, we're looking for this one job that we can work, not two jobs. It's one job we can work where we can make enough money to sustain our life here in Great Babylon, America, and be like everybody else. Okay, have that residual income to be able to, or the disposable income to be able to do all the wicked things here in Great Babylon, America. Let's continue. It says, cast that burden upon the Lord, Yahweh Shai, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. Now, this is what we've done. We all have to work. We all have to have bills paid. We all working for shit pay, okay? In consideration to who we are, Yasharala, okay? The chosen people of the Lord, Yahweh Shai. So we're, if many of you remember the parable of Lazarus and the rich man, we're Lazarus, okay? Desiring the crumbs of the rich man, and these dogs, which are these other nation, okay, have come to lick our wounds. They prosper while we don't. Now, you look in there and you can see, okay, that Eve, as usual, stepping in the forefront, okay, as the representation of Yasharala, Israel, also called Black Americans and Latino, okay, looks up at this man with great adoration. Look at it. You can see it, okay? And of course, he's simp man too. And you listen to how he speaks. I mean, smooth, polish, got that young baby face, giving all that example, trying to, create that empathy. His values are the same. He wants to provide for the family, trying to have that connection. Notice how he opened up with, using an African proverb. Well, we're not Africans, okay? We Hebrew Israelites. Let's go into the book of Isaiah 31. In 1, it reads, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt, which is spiritual Sodom and Egypt, this place, Great Babylon, America, for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, lead us, seek the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. Our people, no matter how much we go on the highway and the byway, bring out these epistles, okay, don't understand, okay, that Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, is the abase of man. His time of rulership is at an end. The whole world right now is in a collapse state, okay, as the world is now preparing, the nations are preparing to go and do that battle. The Lord Yahweh Shemashai is calling these nations, okay, to the valley of decision in order for them to cancel each other before Yahweh comes, okay, and finish them all off and set up the heavenly kingdom. Great Babylon, America, is in a downward spiral that will never come back up. You look on the streets right now and you'll see more Edomites right now on the streets than you ever seen in your entire life. These are baby boomers, people that you would never think, okay, would not have a roof over their head. Yet so, notice in his speech, what did he say? He said he used statistics, 2/3. Then he used minority, which he's talking about really so-called Black Americans, Latino. Okay, but that 2/3, when he mentioned that was spiritual. Okay, not that he's spiritual, but that was spiritual. And he is speaking in an empathetic state because why? His words are smoother than butter, but what's inside? He understands that this is going to be the collapse of these small businesses, these franchises and that, because they're not designed, okay, to pay out that type of wage. And at the conclusion of that video, what did that lady say? That they have a council that's set up so that they can increase the wages as they see fit. Okay, this is another way of Esau bringing that sword, okay, on Yasharallah, because they're going to destroy the small businesses that is typically employed, okay, or sustain, okay, the poor of this nation, which is us, so-called Blacks and Americans and Latinos. And I'm really talking about the 2/3 here that is falling for this bullshit here. So they have this admiration for everything that Esau comes with, but the wise are looking and seeing, no, this is another snare that you have set up once more again. Let's go into the book of Psalm 62:10. It says, trust not in oppression and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Now, I'm going to set this up on the screen here. I did this in a PowerPoint here, and it's very minuscule because I could really go in detail and do detailed analysis and stuff like that, but lesson is not about that. Okay, if you increase the typical wage right now is what, $10 an hour. Okay, 40 hours a week equates to $400 a week before taxes. If you increase it to $20 an hour, it becomes $800 a week before taxes. Now, if I'm the franchise owner, I say, well, okay, this is going to go into my food costs. Okay, this is going to go into my overhead costs. Okay, because when you typically look at the profit or the return of investment, okay, or the profit margin of typical restaurants in different various industries, from fast food to fine dining, okay, to those corporate restaurants, okay, you could see the percentage, okay, of return investment. Typically, when I remember, you know, over 30 years ago when I worked in it, it was a 25%, and that would mean that you have the ability to expand. Right now, you're seeing that it's like what, between 5 to 15%. So if I'm a franchisee or a restaurateur, okay, with these type of restaurant, I'm going to cut your hours down, and you are still okay at $20 an hour. I'm now going to have you working at 20 hours a week, but times 20, so you're still at $400. Or I can also double the staff and everybody's going to work $20 an hour. This also is going to create competition. So those who are working in these jobs right now that are slack, showing up late, tardy, okay, having customer complaint, you are now more, you can now be readily terminated for cause of any reason. Because why? You're going to have more applicants right now. See, nobody's going to really rush to go apply for a $10 an hour job in California, but you put it at $20, there are a lot of qualified people coming, or the corporate America and California who've lost their job like that might look and say, you know what, I could work 20 hours a week, you know, in the meantime, so that they don't drain out all of their 401k or their savings. Okay, so the competition becomes stiff. This puts a lot of the more poor, okay, unskilled jakes at risk right now for Edomites to now suddenly say, you know what, why don't I go there and get a job? Because it's $20 an hour. That's $800 a week. Okay, Now, me as a franchisee, and I don't have any franchise, I'm just saying, I would slash the hours down, and you still would only make $400 a week before taxes. So there's a lot of ways to go about it. Now you have to increase the food prices. This is going to be detrimental, okay? And they're right now thinking about, oh, I'm going to make all this extra money, and they already spent it before they've made it. This is the reason why Psalm warns us about it, because really, if we are not to trust Esau, the so-called white man, and if we do get of riches, meaning what? We have that salary or a little bit of savings and stuff like that, all the more is to give honor and glory and thanks to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai for blessing you with that. Let's go into the book of Psalms 10 and 9. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. He in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privy set against the poor. He lied in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lied in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him in his net. And this is part of that net that Esau, okay, uses. Okay, the fact that Jake is poor, okay, desperate, and is always looking for a way out or a handout, by the so-called white man, not realizing that we are Yasharala, that those men that are standing on the highway and the byway are giving you the solution to your problem. Okay? Go ask the men of the Lord. Yes, we do have tribulation, but the Lord Yahweh Shai takes care of us. That's why he promised his servants that they would eat and would drink, while the rest of the people who depended or ran to Babylon, succumbing to the juice mandate, okay, looking at this man as their God, okay, are going to what? They're going to be in distress. So let's go in the book of Ecclesiastes 12 and 10, because this is something that this is constantly should be in the back of your mind. Never trust thine enemy. Who's our enemy? The Esau, the so-called white man. Guys like this, smooth talkers, full of shit. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself, look at how humble. I mean, if you didn't know any better, you would fall for that smooth face, slick back hair, look like one of them damn Grease Italian or them mob movie. Smooth talk. I mean, he's got all of the examples. Yes, so this guy is worth what, $20-30 million? Comes from a very wealthy family. Okay, and go crouch and yet take good heed and beware of him, that he shall not be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not altogether been wiped away. We have a historical, okay, documentation of Esau's cruelty and his deception and his not sticking around with any type of contract. Okay, they just blew off some nuclear bombs. Okay, Russia said, hey, wait a minute, we're supposed to be under the treaty. There was a treaty ban on proliferation on these things, right? Not to test nuclear bombs. And yes, the United States did it. They were the ones that was urging all the other nations to sign it. We've seen this with the so-called white man, okay, of how he broke his covenant with who? The tribe of Gad. The so-called Negroes have been marching since the 60s and nothing has changed. You're trying to look for equality, okay, mercy, and acceptance from an oppressor, a beast, an abased man that don't give two shits about you, that has done everything very smooth, very slick to put you to death because you trust in him. You're never going to wake up to the understanding that this man cannot be trusted. He's your enemy. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 19 and start verse 14. It says, the Lord Yahweh Shai had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggering his woman. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail or branch or branch may do. In that day Egypt should be like unto women, and it should be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shai, which he shake it over it. So this is an inescapable, okay, event that is going to take place in Great Babylon, America. All these corporations are going to fall apart, especially when that US dollar crumbles, especially when they bring out the MOTB. Who's going to work, okay, for a global welfare system? It's not going to happen. These fast food restaurants are going to collapse. So this is where Jake them are putting all their hope in, and particularly these women, because these women do not want to be in order. And this is why you see them right there. He uses them. This man is nothing more than that serpent in the garden, okay, a representation of it, okay. And these women represent Eve, the beguiled, the simple, the out of order nigger bitch that don't know her damn place, and they're about to pay the price for that. Okay, so I just wanted to bring this out today because I saw this and it's just like, yep, this is another slick way. California is the worst place for the so-called black man, Native American, and Latino to live, because it is a place where the cost of living is so high, and it's just a matter of time before it implodes in on itself. Okay, so Lord willing, the hopefully that will satisfy, like the close up again, all glory and honor to you. How by Shemia Shai, by Shem Kalkadesh. Double honor said, teachers, listen, apostles of great must soul, likewise, brothers, so they're putting on the truth. Faithfully, fairly, feeding sheep and do brothers and sisters, tuning in. Shalom.